If you've ever felt like the third wheel, this podcast is for you.
If you love Wheel of Time, this podcast is for you.
If you're bored and have nothing better to do, this podcast is for you.
Join Rob,
Megan,
and Jen
in celebrating the Wheel of Time
and its statistically best fandom
and ridiculous gaming skills,
and probably a few cocktails.
And find out which one of them will be the third wheel this time.
This is
three-wheeling.
Hey, there we go.
Hello.
Jen's already making lots of noise.
I was like, I'll get it all out of the way before we start. My desk is actually pretty clean, but then I was like, I need a hand lotion. Where is it? Yeah, that's me.
I've got to be honest, sometimes I'm listening to Babylon and I hear your desk rattling and I'm like, oh, it makes me feel like I'm at home.
You're like, I get that. I know that.
Yes.
I feel Jenny's pain in trying to edit
you guys will have to talk and be like, how hard is it to edit, Jen?
Yes. Yes, that's true.
Well,
especially if you haven't gotten to the one where I'm eating popcorn yet, just wait.
Oh no! I was quite ill the other week and barely worked at all. Like I don't know, I must have had one of the new COVID variants running around or something. Knocked me for 6. I took 4 days off work or something ridiculous. So I've struggled to get back into listening to podcasts again on the overnight. I've just been throwing on music because I'm just like, I just need to get back in the routine of life. It's just like janky, and I've just started to get back into them. Last couple of nights, so I'm a few episodes behind because I was catching up on Bow and Blade, which is Michael Levinson's podcast.
Oh right. I need to start checking that out.
Across the summer, they always tend to, because the summer is when they go and do their adventures and things. They always tend to be like, oh, we didn't get around to recording, so. Then when the school year pops around, they get bored of routine. But Kelly's retired, so we were playing with a new dynamic, and they finally got. They had an episode out 4 weeks ago, and now they finally just had another one released earlier this week or something like that. So I was catching up on the Sieges of Rome.
Love it. Okay, yeah. I gotta check that out. I feel like I have my voice is 6 octaves lower than usual this week.
Are you not well, or you just had a rough weekend?
I woke up with a migraine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'll survive.
We can have a chill recording.
Yeah, no, I don't need a chill recording. Let's bring it.
Bring it. Okay. And Meg, I'm also on the struggle bus, but terrible sleep, very minor work accident. But I was cleaning canopy baffles last night. And for those that don't know what I mean by that, because that's a very industry phrase, above deep fryers specifically, but grills and things like that, in an industrial kitchen, you'll see a stainless steel canopy, okay, where all the heat is extracted. And along with that, when you're cooking on hot surfaces with oil and deep fryers and things like that, you get aerosolized oil that, the extraction pulls that away as well. In its long stainless steel tubing and such, it captures the oil. And then on a regular basis, 3 to 6 to whatever months required, depending on the business, you'll get industrial cleaners come in and access all those pipes through hatches and clean the walls because the grease builds up on it. But there'll be a set of slatted or very finely meshed grills that sit over the main access of that in your kitchen. And those come down very easily and they fit inside industrial dishwashers. And the idea is you clean the grease off those yourself manually because that's where most of the grease will be captured. And it just it stops that going out into the air. And that's the idea behind the long tube and that. So I was doing that last night and I managed to drop one on my foot. My bad foot.
Oh no.
So I was in a lot of pain when I finished work and I had terrible sleep today. So yeah, I'm on the struggle bus. But Meg is rocking it. Meg's ready to roll, so.
Yeah, she looks beautiful. She sounds beautiful. Rob, you're even drinking out of a coffee mug, aren't you?
I am drinking out of a coffee mug. I do have the we need to talk about the Rocky Road.
Oh yes. Okay.
We'll get there. But that seems like a fun segue. Jen, do you know what time it is?
I don't know, what time is it?
We should not do this with much energy, Jen. I think it's time to ask. What's
Meg drinking?
Meg is drinking the cleansing.
Oh wow, that feels appropriate, and I think I need to share videos.
Yes.
Oh wait, okay, pause.
So if you remember last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever, it was like, oh, a clarified cocktail in the cleansing. So that's what this is. So if you want to show the first video / image, so that is what the cocktail looks like normally. So what I did was for 24 hours, I infused 8 ounces of white rum and 8 ounces of brandy with the peels of 1 lemon, 1 cinnamon stick, 2 cloves, 1 tablespoon of ground nutmeg, and I let that infuse for, I did about a day. So that's what it would look like if you weren't to clarify it. Then you discard all of the solids, and then
this was really quick.
I lied. Okay, so that was that. Then so that part actually also included then after I discarded the liquids and with the infused liquor, 1/2 cup of sugar, 4 ounces of lemon juice, 4 ounces of pineapple juice, 8 ounces of water. Stir until the sugar is dissolved. So that was like the brown mix. So that would be like the cocktail without clarifying it. Then you put, like, it's a ratio of 1 to 4, so 1 ratio of milk to 4 of the cocktail. So you have to do the milk first, and then you slowly pour in the cocktail, and then it starts to curdle. And then what the curdling does is it pulls out all of the impurities and stuff. And then, so then if you want to go to the next video.
The second video?
Sorry, yeah, so that's okay, you can go ahead. Yeah, so you just stir that gently. And then you let that sit for 24 hours. So then, if you go to the next video, that is where you're pouring that through a coffee filter and it comes out clean and clarified.
Oh my God, Meg, you are naive. This is amazing.
So let me clarify. You put everything you needed.
See what you did there?
Yeah, thank you. You put everything you needed in the cocktail together in a glass. And let it marinate
in like a mason
hours.
jar, yeah. And so
in a large jar, yeah.
And this was about 8 servings. So
about 8 servings worth. Okay, so you made like a batch in essence.
Yes.
That sits for 24 hours to like marinate. Oh, so you have to, it marinates. Okay.
Yeah.
After that, you then mix that with 4 parts milk compared to the 1 part you've made.
So the 24 hours was just the rum and the brandy with the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the cloves, and the lemon peel.
Yes.
Then I made the cocktail where I poured in the water, the sugar, the lemon juice, all of that stuff.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and then that you just stir, and then that would just be the cocktail if you just wanted to be done. Then if you want to clarify
you infuse the alcohol first with the flavors, then mix it with the other non-alcoholic liquids.
Correct.
If you want to stop there, you do have a lovely cocktail that's just in essence like a marinated cocktail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But after that, you then took that finished cocktail, strained all the bits.
Oh, well, I strained all of the bits first from the infused liquor, then made the cocktail.
Then took that finished cocktail and mixed it with, for every 1 part of cocktail, 4 parts milk.
No, other way. 1 part milk to 4 parts cocktail.
1 part milk to 4 parts cocktail. Okay, right. So,
correct.
Gotcha, right.
And for those who can't see the video, I mean, it was this beautiful sort of like brownish pink color in the beginning. Then when the milk was in there, it was kind of like, ooh, don't drink me color. And yes. And then it like with the funnel going into the bottle of like, I didn't know, is the milk literally just there to clarify?
Yes. So I think you have to have, I don't know the whole science behind it, but I think you need a citrus element because that's what like gets the chemical reaction with to curdle it. Yeah. And then, so I also read too that like, and so I've got it in the fridge and Troy's going to see if he wants to do something with it, but I kept all of the curds and somebody said you could kind of do like a mascarpone with it or something. Yeah. So you just like, so you discard all the curds or do something with it and then you get this lovely, beautiful, clarified cocktail.
Yeah,
it's
so
gorgeous.
As Jen just said, like the last video, and we'll post these videos out, or we'll I'll take these and make them into something mega, if you like, or if you want to do.
No, I was planning on doing the whole thing in the regular.
The whole thing, okay. So it'll be part of the real type thing, folks. If you ever see that, but the last video is a tall bottle with like a funnel on top of it, out a metal funnel, and there's a coffee paper in it, and you've clearly just poured the cocktail into that, and it's dripping. Well, you know, you've got the end of it dripping into the bottle, and it's pretty clear.
It's fucking chemistry is what it is. This is amazing. I'm going to share this one with Zach, who doesn't drink, my kid, who's like a kid. But he's going to love the chemistry of this. Oh my God, this is amazing.
This is booze and science right now.
It is.
But it strikes me, I've seen cheese being made. Not in person, but I've watched videos on cheese being made. I love cheese. So, you know, sit me down for a good cheese video, I'm probably going to watch it. And this reminds me of the separation of the curds and whey, like you just said. To make the different parts of, you know, cheeses. And wow, I want to know if you can, like, how is that mascarpone type texture thing gonna taste? I'm curious.
I don't know. I mean, because it's gonna be infused with all this booze and clovers.
Yeah, is it gonna be alcoholic? Have you just discovered how to
so.
make alcoholic cheese, Megan?
I did not discover this. Somebody else did.
But have you just brought alcoholic cheese to our attention?
Maybe.
There we go.
Maybe.
And I wonder, like, is it like when you're cooking and the alcohol cooks off? Like, is the alcohol staying in the thing, but then not in? It's like it doesn't.
I mean, I would think so. Some because like I was squeezing a little bit to get it. I mean, I had to use like 5 coffee filters because they just start to pile up and it takes a while. So, but like I would try to squeeze it.
Oh, sorry, like
oh my God, that is funny. Yes.
Sorry, folks. So he's just put in chat, alcoholic cheese, my life has either just started or it's over.
What is this witchery? True enough.
Oh my God. So sorry, Meg, cut you off there.
No, it's okay. I don't know. But I was trying to squeeze out the liquor, but then it was starting to make it more cloudy again. So then I stopped. So
right.
The cheese curds definitely have some residual booze in it.
How much, and then based on the amount, like the physical amount, the amount of content of what you had of the mixed with the milk, like, do you feel like you did lose a lot of volume when you were pouring it through?
No, I don't think so.
How full was that glass at the end?
Well,
how full was the bottle?
I mean, because I've had a couple now. But, I mean, it was probably pretty much all the way to the top.
Oh, my God. Okay, folks, so Meg's just pulled the bottle on screen. And in the video, the bottle's like, I don't know, like a fifth full or something, like maybe a quarter full or something. The bottle she showed us, after she's made 2 drinks from it, is like 80% full.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, my God. I love it. And you're drinking it, and it's beautiful.
And at that stage now, you just drink it over ice or something neat over ice.
So and that's why it was quick and easy for me this morning because I've done all the work this week.
You spent a week making it.
Yeah, so all I got to do is just pour it over a large glass, and then I did do a lemon peel and expressed it over it, you know. But yeah.
So I never look at our cocktail recipes before we get on because I like to be surprised by what you're doing.
I want to be surprised as well, yeah.
I do. But this morning, because I woke up with a migraine, and one of my migraine fixers, and honestly, don't at me for this, it's true, is gin. My dad makes a mean Bloody Mary.
Conversation goes wild. Oh my God. That's the most flagrant thing you've ever said, Jen.
Right? I'm so controversial.
Don't at me for using gin as a migraine cure. You're fine.
Do people even say at me? Don't at me anymore. I don't think anybody says that anymore anyway.
We say it now. You say it on Babylon. It's going to come here. Sorry. And there's going to be...
That's right.
Much like Gus constantly talks about Star Trek on Babylon, we're going to talk about Babylon.
We're going to talk Babylon.
So.
Perfect. So anyway, I woke up this morning and I thought, well, I wonder if Meg's cocktail this week is a gin cocktail, because then maybe I'll make that and actually have a cocktail at 8 in the morning my time, just to help my headache. And then I opened it and I was like, am I reading the right one? Does this say start making this several days in advance? Goodbye. So, never mind. I'm just drinking coffee.
This would not be one for the Black Tower to try to make.
Oh my God. The dedicated, right, because we're going to get into that. Jen, you weren't there. I watched and said beg. But we're going to get into that. Now, we need to take a moment, folks.
Yeah.
Because this, I'm not advertising Brewdog, but this is the last Rocky Road.
Oh.
And I wish I was saying that because I knew something about the Wheel of Time TV show. But I'm not saying that because of that. I'm saying that because the company I work for is trash. Oh. And they're not discontinuing Rocky Road. But much like 9 months ago when they stopped putting their awesome ciders in cans,
right?
They've decided to stop putting Rocky Road in cans, and this is the last Rocky Road that I could get my hands on at work. I'm sure I could probably purchase some online, but I'm like, ugh.
That's not right.
So starting
I
next
feel like
time, there will be something else.
Well,
I'm sorry for breaking
let's
my
enjoy
curse.
that ASMR.
But
And
this
I'm
is
gonna
your
be sad.
last. This is your last Rocky Road ASMR. There will be ASMR going forward, folks, but this is your last one. Please be a good one.
Nice,
Very
nice. I know I just saw it. I'm like, I think we can still get it over here on this side of the pond.
I'm pretty sure it's still out there. It's not like they've, cancelled it or something like that. But
Right.
I think the supply that's out there is the supply.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And I'm looking at our places, and I'm seeing BrewDog other things, but not the Rocky Road.
Yeah, the Rocky Road has been
I
tough to find.
remember like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I was like, I almost bought it the other day.
Yeah, you did say
No,
that,
I'm really
yeah.
sad I didn't. I gotta go
So
find
I'm
it.
torn, and folks, you're going to have to comment. I'm torn between, do I go on the stout drive and
Yes.
find a new stout to drink each week, or do I try and find some other funnily named thing to fit with the Rocky Road the Wheel of Time is on? So I mean, or please try and do both. If you think I should do both, that's fine, but you have to give me a backup if I can't do both. If I can't find a
Right.
stout that also has a funny name, I need to know whether you'd prefer a funny name or a stout. That's your challenge, listeners. So, talking about other folks now that are on a rocky road. Makes a winner, everybody.
Barely. I don't know how, but okay.
I mean, it's a great cocktail, but I don't know how you won either based on how they did it. But let's give some context for that, folks. Last night is the Gathering of Madness this weekend, which is Black Tower Podcast's annual get-together. And I forget where they are this year.
Utah.
They move Utah.
They're back in Utah again.
They're back
They
in
were there
Utah.
2 years ago,
They move
yeah.
it every year because the folks are based in different places. So they're in Utah this year, and they're having great fun. The place that they're staying at is, their host Brenda is loving having them there, and everyone's having a blast. Tech issues and but quickly resolved. All the good stuff that BTP is known for. Their cocktail contest was last night, and Meg submitted, as she does. Is this your second year, third year? How many years have you done this, Meg?
I've submitted it 3 years, but the first year I didn't win.
Okay. Meg's third year. So
What?
it's Meg's second year, folks. The first year don't count. The first year was a trial run. All right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Well, I know their tastes now, so that's what I try
Yes,
to
she does
keep.
curate. She
Yes,
curates.
She curates. This is true. And the cocktail contest was last night, and Meg won best tasting cocktail. So second year in a row for best tasting, or just second year in a row as one second year best tasting? Okay. And Jim from Fantasy for the Ages won best story.
Best story, yeah.
And I don't know if there was meant to be a Brenda's Choice Award, which they invented on the opening the opening start of things, and I can't remember whether they actually picked a Brenda's Choice Award. But anyway, congratulations, Meg! Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's well deserved. You work hard, as we've just clarified with the other cocktail.
Yes. You did it again.
Definitely not going to overuse that joke today.
Right.
Jen, Meg and I both watched it last night online.
Yeah.
It was a shit show when it came. Meg, tell them.
In the lovingest way.
You think she judges us for being basic bitches, all right?
Right.
And we love you,
Right.
BT3. Okay, we've decided we're calling the BT3 because
BT3.
I used to say the Black Tower guys, but Reese has joined in place of Dan moving on, and now I'm like, no, I can't say guys, so we'll call them the BT3.
Love it.
Black Tower 3. But yeah, Meg, what was it like to watch last night? Tell us about it.
Well, okay, so I was only going to submit one because I'm pretty sure that was all we were allowed to do. But then I messaged Josh and I was like, hey, I'm thinking of a lit pipe, but that's very labor intensive, requires a cocktail smoker. And then I think that's more of your taste profile. But I do have this other one called the Blackberry Tower that's easier to make or whatever. And he was like, no, it's all good. We'll have everything. Just go ahead and submit both. So anyway, Josh didn't get the smoker. Josh didn't have a shaker. So they were shaking with like 2 solo cups together or whatever. I don't even know what they were doing.
Yeah, they were like doing
God.
a mashup with 2 solo cups. They didn't have, it felt like
and then
every
he
other
didn't
cocktail.
use egg white in my other one because they didn't have a shaker that would emulsify it enough. So
Right.
yes, it's just
Yeah.
This is amazing, but also like I am a basic bitch when it comes to cocktails. My shaker, I do have a shaker, but it's a mini shaker. It's this big. And then also I don't even know what to do with it. It's really tiny. So, for me or for like other people, but this was specifically the cocktail contest. Am I not wrong? Am I
correct?
Okay.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Josh just forgot it at
Meg
his
was
house.
drinking.
Like,
Sure.
so.
This is amazing. Oh my God, I love it.
Well, it is chaos and madness. Like, that is
Yeah,
just what you need
supposed to
to
be.
expect going
Yeah.
there. So.
And it is exactly supposed to be that.
Yeah, every
It is
cocktail
true
they
to
went to,
form.
they were just like, "Oh, yeah, no, we don't have that. Oh, no, we can't do that." Like the Blackberry Tower, muddled blackberries. They were like, and I think you put a note in like you could use a spoon or something.
Yeah, I did.
And
They were like, we
Andrew's
don't
there,
have a
like-
muddler.
And Andrew's there like trying to squish blackberries in a red Solo cup and not, he's taking
Well,
it
and then I said to
forever.
double strain, and obviously they didn't have any strainer, so I was like, I'm sure there were straight up blackberries in their cocktail.
Yeah.
So.
And they were like, we're really enjoying this. This is great. And I'm like, they don't even have glasses, Jen. All right. They're like pouring it splitting it across 4 between the 3 hosts and Brendo, who was also there. Mm-hmm. The woman who runs the business they were, the lodge they were staying at. And they were just like splitting it across solar cups and taking sips and things like that. And I was dying in the chat, being like, "How is someone not there with a shaker? How do you not have glasses? You're not in tents in the countryside. This is a lodge.
Right.
The lodge doesn't have glasses." I'm like, I'm at a loss of what's going on. I love them. It was very much.
It was very fun to watch.
It was very chaotic and fun to watch. But I was like, I need to get my ass out there next year and just be like, I will take my cocktail set and I will read the instructions. Every other cocktail seemed to be like, pour over large ice cube if possible. And I'm like, I felt lucky they had ice. I don't know about you, Meg.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my God. I love that. Well, Megan, congratulations. Which one won, though?
A lit pipe.
Nice. Oh, nice. Even though they didn't have the smoker.
No, and so they had to ask me which one I actually wanted to submit into the contest, and I was like, I think they're gonna like that taste better than, because the Blackberry Tower is definitely a little bit sweeter.
Yeah.
And I know Josh and Andrew don't like it super sweet, so that's why I went with a lit pipe. So
Yeah. So they did pick that,
great.
but it was so funny listening because they were like, "This is good," and then the next one was like, "Oh, this is really good," and then it carried on. It felt like every
mine
time
they did
tried
not
cocktail.
seem that excited about. So I was like, not thinking.
By the end of it, they were
I was gonna
raving over the cocktails.
Yeah.
and
Hilarious. Well, it's because they'd had that many by the time they got there. They're like, this is fucking genius.
Yeah, and then they went back and they were like, I think I'm going to go with the lit pipe.
I was like, all right.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What did I call it? A bright vape when they said they didn't have the smoker or a lighter or chips or, like anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, so it's more like a vape then, because, no smoking, no real smoke. I don't know. It was chaotic to watch. And I was like, I just want to be there with my shaker and be like, guys, sit there. Because I would be like, I'm going to make a double batch of this so I can pour it in a glass the way it's meant to be presented so you can see the finished product. But then also take the other half that I've made and like pour it over like 3 glasses, whatever, like so you can all taste it as well.
Yeah.
If we want to do a GoFundMe and someone wants to fund me going, I will do that next year.
Can you go between the teachings?
I mean, I could take off a Friday if I had to, but
just to get there in person and actually serve up your cocktail professionally.
It was hard to watch.
Here's a fun thing: they got to Leia's, and Leia submitted a sangria, which they loved, but
didn't have any time to sit.
Yeah, you're like, you need to make this in advance, and they were just like, we didn't realize that until we sat here right now,
But she was like, I said that to you earlier today. That's what she said. She said, I said you should start this now.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It was hilarious because Leia runs it for them.
That's so great.
Yeah. Well, she's doing a great job from the looks of it. But yeah, like, they were just like, man, I'm just enjoying Meg pouring a huge glass of cocktail right there, to be honest.
I know, that was like a ginormous amount.
That's not pure. That's not pure, actually. Because
no, that's not.
Because there's mixes of things that have been clarified with it.
Yeah, it's all the stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
A light blindfold.
Well, once
Yeah.
it's in the solo cup, it all tastes the same anyway. Yeah, Light Blade and Thought was there as well.
I
don't know.
disagree. No, the receptacle is very important to the experience. But does that shock anyone that I would say that?
That sounds like a quote, doesn't it? The receptacle was important to the experience.
That could have a dirty context.
That's an overheard on freewheeling if I've ever heard one. Right. Fun alcoholic drinking discussions there. I don't think there's been any news in the last couple of weeks. Really,
Well, I don't have Wheel of
I think
Time
it's the one
news,
thing.
but I do have something that I found interesting. So,
okay.
do you guys know the game Horizon Zero Dawn?
Of course. Well, sorry, because my kid played it at your house. But
Vaguely
So
rings a bell.
It's the chick with the red hair, and then she's like fighting like the AI robots and stuff, but like in the wilderness and everything.
Kim Possible
Aloy.
versus
Aloy?
Tron.
No.
Sorry, I totally didn't catch it. I spoke over you, Jen. I do apologize. What did you say,
it's
Jen?
fine, it's fine. I just was saying that her name is Aloy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The character.
I was, I don't know. When you said chick with the red hair, I was like Kim Possible, and then you said AI, and I'm like, Tron?
I'm going to see Tron
You know?
today, by the way. Tron
Are
airs
you?
today.
Oh, I'm hoping to go
Yes,
see
we're
it the
going.
next week or so.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
it's, I'm not that I'm a huge fan of who's that guy? Is that Jared? No, I wanna say
Jeff Bridges?
Jared Leto.
No, it's
No.
Jared Leto.
Is
Oh,
it
it's
Jared
Jared
Leto? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not a huge fan of Jared Leto as an actor.
Me either.
Like, I think he's extremely overrated. I don't think he can't. I'm not like he can't act, but people rave about him, and I'm like, no.
His level
but
of
okay.
intensity is intense.
Yeah, but it might fit with an AI. I feel like he's the AI baddie. But yeah, I'm hoping to go see it. Anyway, back to the game. Sorry, Meg.
So, I mean, it's got to be owned by Sony because it's PlayStation, I think. Anyway, I'm not sure if it's
Horizon
owned by
Zero
Sony
Dawn
or not.
is correct.
Okay. So they were planning on doing like TV show or whatever, and then everything fell through, and now they're doing a movie. So I think this goes back to, our whole conversation we've been saying is like nobody can make money off streaming shows anymore. So they're deciding to go to the theater. So I'm going to say it again. We can still have long television series, but release it in the theater first and then go to your streaming network, and you can still have this long form storytelling. Do it.
Thank you, Megan, for this PSA.
Do appreciate the PSA. I was just. I don't know. I just enjoyed the Megan rant.
So many.
So
Where did we leave off?
last time? Yeah,
I know.
Don't do that, Megan.
That was amazing.
Oh my god,
That was fantastic.
I was on.
I'm the third wheel.
I was on no, I'm the third wheel because I'm not like I don't have this. I never went to university or anything like that, and I'm not a teacher. And you both did those things. I've discovered today. So, and if I have cut that out of the podcast, folks, we got like a bit of Jen's history that we go through. And at one point, Jen was a teacher for a year, and she was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck am I doing? No, get out." But yes, that just in case I cut that out of the podcast later on.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching high school is the hardest job in the world. Megan has all of my respect. And
There's many hard jobs, but yes, it is one of them. Yes.
you
Teaching
have
is a
all.
tough
You get all the G. You get all the G for that. Which is why you
but
should have the
yes.
G T-shirt, not me. So where did we leave off? We left off with character last week.
We were talking character. We laid
And
pipe about
Egwene
character.
ended up center to everything, we realized.
Yes. No, not
She
center. Just center to that discussion, Megan.
And we didn't cover some characters, but we really mostly covered the mains and talked about.
I don't think we
talked
covered
about-
Rand at all much.
I remember we were like, we'll do Moraine. It'll be quick, and then basically didn't talk about Moraine because we.
Yeah,
kept
exactly.
jumping character to
Exactly.
character
And we
to
didn't
character
talk
to
about Rand that much, although
character. We didn't talk about
we-
Lan, for example.
Right. And the only thing we talked about Rand was Veins of Gold, I think. And wait, I'm really confused because now I'm going back to the tentpoles side of this, and none of my information about what season those things would be in is in there, which I know I took notes on.
You did take notes on that.
Yeah. What happened to my notes? Don't, Meg. I know
Don't
that you're
put
the
that,
note. You're the,
Megan.
I was just
I'm
complimenting
sorry.
her about
I'm
her
sorry.
job and
I'm
how important she
sorry.
is to
I'm so
the
mean.
world.
I'm
I feel
sorry.
like she's 5 cocktails deep at this stage. She's basically just put a straw in the bottle. And, you know.
Just drink it straight.
Half the bottle is gone, folks. I just want to let you know that. So, you know.
I was going to say save it for Christmas so I can have some, but I'm not coming for Christmas this year. So.
Oh, yeah.
Womp womp.
It wouldn't make it that long anyway. Colleen's asking
Yeah.
me to try to keep it for till next weekend, and I was like,
Yeah, not sure. Even refrigerated?
You can
no,
refrigerate
just
it, I'm sure.
no. Me.
Oh, right. Okay. I was about to give you like tips on how to store cocktails and things like that, you know, and I'm like, oh, no, because Meg's just going to drink it.
Hilarious.
I mean, if you start making it now, you might have a new batch come next weekend. So.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Oh, God.
Well, so I was going to use that. That's so weird. I was going to use the tent poles to talk about our season and placement of things like veins of gold and stuff like that. But all of that is now missing, and I'm really.
Let me look at what I have too.
Did I keep a second
Hold,
one?
please. Technical pause, folks.
Yes.
I mean, if we want to pause on that and try and fix it later, I could suggest the topic for today. We could talk about.
Please do. Please do.
Like, to
Let's
give us,
pause for
not necessarily take a break from doing this, but to you know, just bring in something else rather than just like continue. Yeah. Now it's something that came up on Babylon, but it also came up on the Talkies on their latest episode.
Oh.
It came up. Brendan, their occasional show only watcher co-host, it turns up, he suggested this, and I don't know if it was you, Jen, or whether it was Gus who talked about this on Babylon, but it came up most recently with the Talkies because they were talking about watching the show with adverts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And how they come up at really bizarre times that don't fit.
Yes.
And then Brendan's like, well, that's because television these days is not made with advertisements in mind. So the natural breaks that are built in to a television show that you used to get in the 90s, the 80s, and all those sorts of things is no longer required. And so in the writing process is not there. Mm-hmm.
Except on some shows because they expect it. Yeah.
Except on some shows because they expect it. And that made
probably
me realize...
children's television like what you write, right? No? Oh.
No. But I've been watching The Orville because, long story short, I managed to get a free subscription to Uber One, which gave me a free subscription to Disney Plus, and I've been watching The Orville, which I kind of wish I'd done reactions to because, oh my God, I love it so much. I watched an episode today... or finished watching the episode today, like 20 minutes or whatever of it, when I got up. And, like, I started crying because the fucking robot is, like... Yeah, I don't want to give it away, but the robot did something really sweet. And I'm like, oh man, why am I crying over this robot that's like... you know, double-crossed everyone. Like, you know, what?
The Orville, so I only watched the first few episodes, and I know people love it. And I was like, I've got to just give it a little bit longer because I have to get into it because I know it's really good and people love it. Even LBF is like, it's a really good show. And it is definitely made for people who already like sci-fi. Like it's, because, you know, you go into it thinking
tropey, right?
It's tropey. It is absolutely tropey. And you go into it thinking this is just a spoof of, this is just going to be a silly spoof of Star Trek, but it's not. It's like, it is its whole thing and it's really quite wonderful. So I feel like I need to go back and give it its due. I enjoy Seth MacFarlane. I really enjoy him. I think he's very clever and interesting and funny.
He's grown on me so much. I'm not a fan of Family Guy. I'm not a fan of the Cleveland Show, or whatever it is. Like
that was a Family Guy spinoff, and then he also did American Dad.
An American Dad, and I've I especially was just like, I'm not a fan
Ted?
of. I don't like Ted.
Oh my God, I love Ted so much.
I don't find that humor. I don't find slapstick funny, and I don't find that funny. You know, when someone's just like, "Oh my God, Family Guy is so funny," and I was just like, is Family Guy the one with the talking dog?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was just like, do you know why Family Guy is not funny to me? Because they think it's hilarious to put a wormhole that connects from the closet in the corridor of the house in the hallway of the house that connects to Meg's ass, and if they throw stuff in the closet, it comes out of her ass. And I'm like, and they're throwing, stupid shit in there, like a full chair into the closet, and then there's Meg in the other room going, ah! And I'm like, how is this funny? That is like, I'm sorry, what is clever about this, aside from the fact that it is fucking stupid? So I never had, everyone's like, Seth MacFarlane. And I'm like, clearly the guy is successful, so clearly he's doing something right. But for me personally, I'm just like, I don't get it, And then I started watching.
I would say that's a very bad example of Seth MacFarlane.
I've watched
Yes, and his cleverness is sometimes really. Here's the thing about Seth MacFarlane that I think is interesting. He's so fucking smart. He's really fucking smart.
He's very intelligent.
But his cleverness then plays to the lowest common denominator of what happens when you throw a chair out Meg's ass. So like I think he does himself a disservice.
Not me, Meg.
Not you, Megan. Right. But it's just, I think that there's an aspect of that I'm like, you're smarter than this. Like, why, which is why I'm also not a giant fan of Family Guy.
Like American Dad, Cleveland Show. I'm just like, you are just playing to the base, the lowest common denominator. And that's, I get it and that's fine. But there was always something about it where I'm like, you could do better. And now you said that's clicked. I'm like, yeah, that is the feeling when I'm watching this. I'm like, you're this clever that you could do. Why are you doing this? You can do better. So I fully expected to go and watch the Orville that my friends had said was great, and expect it to be not necessarily a spoofy Star Trek, because I know he loves Star Trek, but it to be, not somewhere between Star Trek and Family Guy. I was like, that's kind of what I was expecting, and the first season is that kinda. Yeah. I've got to be honest, the first season is quite reasonably like that. No one's, you're not getting like wormholes connected to someone and things like that. But, there's stupid humor. There's, like characters play pranks on each other, which includes like, one character cutting off another person's leg while he was asleep. And, then they're regrowing it and he's needed on the bridge while it's regrowing. And he like hobbles in with this half-grown baby foot thing. And it's just like, yeah, okay, cool. Like there are stupid moments, but I would say that's season 1. And then season 2, it's like they kind of take themselves a bit more seriously, and the stupid humor becomes like the bonus material.
It becomes about the characters. It becomes about the characters, and then the stupid humor is incidental, and the icing on top, and the and the MacFarlane brand on top of it. But it becomes about those characters, and which
back
I'm
to
like,
the connection
that's
to that.
Where you go.
Yeah. Back to the connection to that. That's written with the adverts in mind. Like the Disney Plus free account I got is an adverts version. And so like there's 90 seconds before it starts. There's 30 seconds before it starts. And there's usually like a minute after the credits, after the opening credits or whatever. And then like there's a 30-second break halfway through. And then there's a 60-second break like 2/3 of the way through, and then it ends. But it is, the episodes like in season 3 particularly are like over an hour long. It's redonkulous. I was like, how is this an hour and 4 minutes in season 3? I'm like, what? Okay, fair enough. Kudos. I'm liking it. But it's made with adverts in mind. And I was like, I was thinking there's a whole generation of people that have been raised on watching television without advertising. And I'm curious if you think we're going to go back to the next generation that has to watch advertising, like, and whether that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. Like,
well, so let me first talk about the show structure and the creation of shows. So you are correct in that shows when television was starting, advertising was built in, even down to like in the 50s, they call it the golden age of television. There were all of the evening shows that were like the Philco Hour, or the, Twilight Zone kind of stemmed out of that. And they were these really beautiful stories, like written by amazing playwrights like Patty Chayefsky and Gore Vidal, and they were meant to be filmed. It was like stage. They were meant to be filmed on a stage. They were meant to be filmed like almost like a, like a 3-camera set kind of thing. A lot of them were, but they were made for television. So they instead of taking a 3-act structure, they turned it into a 5-act structure. So you would have your automatic breaks, because those were very specifically the Philco hour brought to you by Philco, and there was the Exxon or Mobil or one of the gas companies did one. And so like they were designed for that. And then that permeated into the 70s and 80s. So TV writers' rooms, you break a story and you would have like, what is our act 1 hook? What are we doing to bring people back after the commercial? How do we keep people engaged to stay and not turn away after the commercial? So every one of those commercial breaks was written with a moment of like, oh, what's going to happen? And so you watch the old things, and like old shows, like sci-fi shows like Buck Rogers and like if you watch them, it's really fun to go back and watch like 80, because 80s was the thick of it, where they show you something right before the commercial, but they know you might have come in and tuned in from another show that you weren't enjoying and switched over at the commercial breaks, because commercial breaks were approximately at the same time. Mm-hmm. So after the commercial break, they'd have to replay what happened in case you just joined. And so it's really, if you watch them now without commercials, if you watch them on a DVD or you watch them on a streaming service that doesn't have a commercial, it's really chonky and uncomfortable, because you're like, I just saw that. Why am I watching it again from either maybe a different angle or maybe not? It's literally the same footage. And it's painful to watch.
Star Trek does it. When I watch Voyager and Next Gen and things, they do it. And I'm like...
So Star Trek hung on to it longer than anybody, which is why I think Orville is copying a lot of that. And like it's you feel it more with Orville than you do maybe with another show. So procedurals, if you watch like NCIS or even Law and Order, which have very much, they were still built for network television. They were still built for commercials. It's crafted differently. So it's not as much a hook and then repeat the hook so that you know what's going on, or it's almost a cliffhanger, but like they don't repeat it again, but they maybe repeat it in dialogue, but they don't show you the same scenes. So it's crafted differently in a procedural, but people are used to it and they know that they're going to be able to talk about it because that's a procedural, and they're going to be able to be like, yeah, when we found the dead body, blah, blah, blah. And they just say it and catch you up that way. They don't have to re-show it. But in sci-fi, they always like replay it, and it's weird. So we were talking about this on Babylon 5 because they were crafted that way. But if you watch it in streaming, they don't take those into account. So if you're watching something on streaming that was originally built for commercials, you might get, if you're watching it on Prime and they've thrown their own ads into it, you get these ads like yanking you out of the story to throw an ad in, and then you have to watch a double beat later because they might not throw an ad in the place when it was originally designed to be. So as a writer, it's absolutely maddening because you're like, this was crafted to hold you over for 60 seconds. This was designed to keep you interested for 60 seconds so you don't leave and you stay there, and then to like remind you what happened 60 seconds ago or 90 seconds ago. So as a writer, it's really frustrating to watch a show that's been pulled out of that and put back into it. So now, if you're still writing for network television, you're still dividing your show up in those breaks. You're expecting the ads. But if you're writing for streaming, what they're calling prestige streaming, if you're writing for a streaming show like Wheel of Time, you are not including ad breaks in there. So once all of a sudden Amazon started throwing ads in and you had to pay for no ads, like the show is not crafted to have a natural break, a natural place for you to take a breath.
And they're not taking the time to try to decide to put it in between scenes or whatever.
No. They just randomly, they mostly randomly do it. It's not somebody who's crafting
an AI
it
algorithm
who's choosing.
Or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Probably. And maybe actually they'll get better with it with AI algorithms, and they'll be able to be like AI will be like, this feels like a good natural pause. I don't know. But
YouTube says that to me when I'm streaming. This feels like a good moment to put an advert break in.
I know. It actually says that.
I have it set up manually. Folks, if you watch the YouTube channel and you get adverts at random times, it's YouTube putting them in. I have them set to manual, so when I live stream, it should not pop up, but it can still pop up if you don't have YouTube Premium, I think it's called, or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah. And so then your question, Rob, and I'm sorry, I'm going off, I'm expounding, but your question, Rob, of are we going to have to start dealing with it again is, okay, so two things. One is that vertical shorts are designed to be watched quickly. So they have natural, easy places to throw an ad in. You watch 3 vertical shorts and then you throw an ad in, and then because your timing is like you're used to having.
What's a vertical short?
Real
A vertical short
TikTok.
Oh, those.
literally vertical.
Okay.
Oh, Nynaeve's not on here anymore. She's usually on here. Literally vertical instead of
Because there's a lot of change in. Again, I got this from Babylon. I feel like it was Gus discussing this, that there was a change of like, film and video and such is now like the mini screen, the phone screen is now becoming a player in making storytelling.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Writers Guild struck back in 2007 as well. 8? 7. 7. Jesus, I should know. It's in 7. And when the Writers Guild struck in 2007, and forgive me if I'm wrong, it could be 2008, I'm mixing it up with the recession. Okay. When the Writers Guild struck back in 2007, the big thing we were striking for was what they called new media. New content, new media, and it was basically digital media. It was like, we have streaming. We're not getting paid the same to write streaming television that we get paid for network. In fact, like not even close at that time. It was like there was network, then you get paid for cable, which was less than that, and then if you were streaming, there was almost like there were no parameters. So they were like, we're fighting because we feel like everything's going streaming, and I was creating content at the time. Like pitching shows, and they were like, everything's moving to these, like, it's got to be small so you can watch it on your phone. And everybody was trying to figure out, how do you make content on the phone? How do you make it, like, how do you change the way you're shooting it so that you can see a face better, because it's not going to be like small little heads in the bottom, but they were still talking about shooting it this way, not shooting
landscape.
Landscape, not portrait. Somewhat. But they were like, everybody's moving into this. This is how kids watch TV now. Everybody's got to be on this thing. And then it kind of didn't happen. It sort of just like faded away a little bit. It was like really exciting. The novelty of like the iPhone came out in 2007. So it was really exciting about the novelty of that, and YouTube was taking off, but then it kind of like stopped for a little while. And it has finally, I think because of TikTok and Instagram, it has now become, and Reels and things like that, it has now become like, it is the way people are consuming content. So that's what they're talking about, vertical shorts, and like, how do you make something faster and snappy and you stay involved? Even they're 11-minute episodes, Meg, but the YouTube show that I'm writing for Normal MFers, is still designed.
Are you writing on that as well? How did I miss that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah. I wrote the pilot, and I wrote
Episode
I wrote
5.
I've written 4 episodes. The pilot, episode 5, episode 7, 8, and then the series finale, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So, so it is like everything we're doing in crafting it is getting different again. And so like we went through this whole period where people were like, well, yes, network television is still the procedurals. Those are still written with their hooks and their 5 acts. But if you're writing for premium television, Game of Thrones, whatever, you don't have to consider that. You can just you can write it more like a movie, except like half a movie. That said, even movies back in the day, and I think I talked about this in Babylon 5, but movies back in the day they still had an 11-minute feel. And part of that was because reels, like film reels, were about 11 minutes worth of content. So you naturally had to set a scene to break because you would have to change the roll of film on the camera. So you couldn't have a scene continue at that 11-minute mark. You had to be able to have it stop. So when I used to write features more than I wrote television. And when I write features, I have an 11-minute natural physical break. Like I write them with that in mind, even though we're shooting digitally now. So that doesn't even matter. But it's definitely how we consume it. We're used to it. We're used to having that feel. And if you have a scene that runs for 20 minutes, let's say 16 minutes. If you have a scene that runs for 16 minutes, you get antsy at around 11 because we're used to consuming it that way. That's going to change because kids don't have that same thing, but they get antsy after about 2 minutes because that's how long a TikTok is.
2?
No,
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
So
Like,
did you guys watch?
Roy, my husband, who is in his mid-40s, gets mad if I send him anything that's longer than a minute.
Yes. Did you guys watch
Really?
SNL last night?
Yes.
Did you watch SNL?
No.
Watch Saturday Night Live last night? Okay. No. It was really fucking good. The cold open was struggled, and then the rest of it was like the best SNL I've seen in ages. There's an episode that's a spoof on scary movies, and it's about this couple who like snuggles down to like watch TV tonight. Like, thank God we're not going to go out tonight. We're going to stay home. And all of a sudden her phone goes off, and she's like, "Oh fuck, we have plans." And that's like the scary thing. And it's really funny because the description of the couple that's coming over is he the guy who shows me YouTube videos? And then they cut to him showing him a YouTube video, and it zooms in on and it's like 30 seconds in, and he looks at it, and it's an 11-minute video, and he's like, 11 minutes, no, and it's true, like, right? Don't we all do that? We're like, oh my God, I don't have time to watch all this. So yes, Meg, you're right. 30 seconds is about the thing, unless you're sitting down to watch something that's like your continuity show. So. Okay, so sorry, and that's like a very long history of film and television explanation to say, will we have to start crafting things with commercials in them? I don't think it would hurt us to craft things in with short breaks in mind, regardless of what we're writing. I think when you're breaking a story, like even in, most of the animated shows I've written for were not intended to have commercials, because they were meant for young audiences or on PBS or on Disney Junior, where they don't have commercials, because you can't have commercials for really little kids. Like if it's a design
and
for
they're just shorter,
Disney Junior.
like half episodes too, right?
Yeah, they're 11 minutes. They're 11-minute episodes. But even in an 11-minute episode, we still break it down into acts. Like in moments where the kids can get up if they need to, they can pause it if they need to, or just like something to kind of like reinvigorate them and keep them engaged like along the way. And a 22-minute episode of like Lion Guard was meant on Disney Junior. It wasn't meant to have breaks, but we wrote it in 5 acts. We wrote it with like the idea of having well, we wrote it in 3 acts, but and David's show. So David's show, Max and the Midnights, was originally designed to air first on Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon still has commercials. So he's got commercial breaks in his. And when you watch his episodes, like you see where it fades to black and then it comes back up. Like it's designed for that. So I just think it keeps us snappier and better and less lazy as storytellers to have that in there. And so will kids have to start remembering what it's like to watch something with commercials in it? Kids are still the biggest consumer for advertising. So much of advertising is geared towards either kids or moms. And so I think you can still sell toys if you, or sell video games or whatever it is, if you're marketing to kids. And places like Nickelodeon, we'll see what happens if CBS keeps Nickelodeon around and like still does that as a cable television with commercials, the cable channel. But I don't think it's going to go away. And I think kids are also used to ads, and they're used to like the skip ahead, like, the ad comes up and then the little skip sign. So that even if it's only 10 seconds on your screen before you can hit skip, it still takes you out of the story. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really smart to.
Their apps that they play on or whatever have ads embedded in it, and ads that are interactive, and then they want to get that app.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in a way too, isn't it like, it's partly why if you watch, okay, so you can't, because of what is the act? There's literally a law that says you cannot advertise to children in children's content. It's something, there's like a media law. So if you're watching My Little Pony, you cannot have a commercial for My Little Pony toys while you're watching My Little Pony.
Like, because it's a conflict of interest sort of thing?
Yes. If you're watching Transformers, you can't have a commercial for Transformers. So it's really funny because if you're watching My Little Pony on like back when Hasbro had a channel, the Hub, the commercials would be for Sophia the First or for like Disney type shows, right? And if you're watching a Disney thing that was not on Disney Junior but on Disney Actual, then you would be seeing commercials for My Little Pony because you can't advertise for yourself. Of course, My Little Pony and Transformers were literally television shows that were a commercial for a toy. Like that is why
that's what
those
they were
shows
created for. Yeah.
They were created for that. It was a way to get around it being an ad for itself by being its own content. So, kids are still very susceptible.
Yeah.
And I think and so are humans. I mean, I watch an ad and I'm like, I want a hamburger right now.
Yeah, I've definitely seen, so Disney Plus at the moment does heavily advertises for Futurama. the new season of that coming up. In fact, to the point where it's the same advert every time, and it's like it starts off with this news anchor being like, "What you're about to see may be distressing," or something of that nature, and then Bender comes in and goes, "It better be," and I imitate it. Probably 80% of the time the advert comes on. And I'm not even, when the advert starts, I'm like, my phone comes up and I'm like, right, let me just check Discord or whatever.
Right.
You know, because I'm not going to watch the advert, especially because I know I've seen the advert 50 times now.
Right.
You know, but even if it was going, the news anchor says a bit, and then I go, "It better be," and I'm still looking at my phone scrolling Discord because it's, you know, it embeds yourself. You know, it gets in there. But they do that, and what's the other one? Adidas versus Puma. And this is where my documentary phase has...
Adidas versus Puma, we would say in this country.
Right.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you saying?
Now, let me clarify. I understand there's lots of different ways to say things, and I actually do prefer, and I understand that that it is actually meant to be called that, Nike over Nike, because in the UK we call it Nike, or that's how we've always called it. And I understand that in America it's called Nike, and I'm like, actually, that is what the guy who set up Nike calls it, Nike. Fair. Adidas is named after, Adidas. I know that's what you call it, but
I'm just trying to say it like you say it in my head. Adidas.
Right. So Adidas. Anyway, so I watched the documentary. It's a 3-part documentary about the competition between Adidas and Puma, which are actually originally formed by two brothers that ended up having, both shoemakers, had a feud, split and set up their own companies in the same town in Germany where they are still based today, on opposite sides of a river. When they have like this competition, it's like you can be an Adidas fan or a Puma fan. Like literally, there's a guy who does the archive at Puma, and some of his co-workers left to go work at Adidas, and he's like, they're not my friends anymore.
Wow.
I love this story. I want to add to the story later.
It's a 3-part documentary. I watched it. I'm not a sporting guy.
Amazing.
I'm not like I have to wear sports brands or anything like that. Right. But I love the idea of this history of it coming out. And it was really a very interesting journey. In fact, the CEO for Puma actually left and went and worked for Adidas at one point. I'm spoiling some of the story here, by the way, folks, if you want to go watch it. But because they were like, it didn't have a non-compete, and literally people were like, ooh, oh my god, wow. Just did it. Yeah, so it was really fun. Anyway, that's heavily advertised. That's one of the other things they heavily advertise as I'm watching the Orville, and it made me, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go watch that because I'm on a documentary kick at the moment. It's formulated a stupid nebulous idea in the back of my head that I'm like percolating about how I could do something. Meg and Jen know what I'm talking about because I put it in the chat, but you know I'm not going to say because I don't want to count chickens. But it played so much, I was like, I'm going to fucking watch it. I'm intrigued. The advert has got me, and I went and watched it. The advert worked, and they still advertise it to me, even though they know I've watched it on Disney Plus. So
and they still do. I know it's true. That's the thing the algorithms haven't figured out is like if
AI
you watch it, they need to drop
that's
that
a
out.
use. That's a use for AI. Okay, that's an appropriate use for AI.
Yes.
Recognize that I have watched that documentary. Stop fucking advertising it to me. I've watched it. I've done the bit. I can't watch it.
And yet, on Amazon Prime, I never saw any ads for Wheel of Time or promotion for Wheel of Time at all. So what does that tell you?
Did you watch anything on Prime except Wheel of Time?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, it'd be weird if you got an advert break during Wheel of Time. You should watch Wheel of Time. Like, no shit, Sherlock, I'm watching it right now.
But this is also somewhere where the streaming services haven't figured the fuck out, like, what they're doing. Because, yes, like, they're like, we don't have ads. Like, they're still saying we don't have ads. They're advertising for their own shows. They're using the ad time because they don't actually have advertisers in these spaces. They're using it to promote their own shows, Disney Plus, etc. And it's always like with Disney Plus, it's like it's not in the middle of the show. It's like as the show's coming up or the next episode's coming up or whatever. But it is interesting to me that like I'm like, you're already breaking us. You might as well just like actually let an ad company pay money
so you can earn money.
Yeah, I pay for ad-free Prime. Well, I did pay for ad-free Prime.
Me too. I just dropped mine too.
I went to cancel it, and they offered it to me for 6 months. Like I went to cancel Prime, and they offered me ad-free for 6 months at like £3 a month or something stupid like that. So I'm paying like fuck all. I'm paying less than ad Prime for ad-free Prime. And you know what they do? They play an ad at the beginning of a show.
Yeah.
And I have the option to skip the ad. So I'm, in essence, paying for ad-free Amazon Prime, and I'm getting ads unless I remember to pick up the remote and press skip. So I still watch that first few seconds because I forget, oh shit, no, I've got to skip the ad. And I'm like, so you're still advertising to me even though I pay for a non-advertising version of Prime. And even then, you're advertising your own fucking stuff to me and not letting an advertiser give you money to advertise their product. And I'm just like, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
It is weird. It is weird. It is weird. But I think it's...
I'm right. I know I'm right. They need to listen to me. I know.
You have strong opinions on advertising and movies and connections and theaters and stuff like that. Like, what are your thoughts on going back to...
You go to the movie theaters, and I mean, granted, a movie is not crafted with it, but there's 15 minutes at least. So for us, our local theaters that we normally go to, like if we get there, let's say the movie starts
one or two, right?
Ads?
No,
okay.
At the Vista?
No, not the Vista. No, the Vista's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't want to like the Vista is perfect. We'll talk about the Vista in a second because that is premium watching of anything. No. In
2028, I'll move over to experience the Vista.
Yes. So the Americana is, it's an AMC theater. And so you go in, let's say the movie starts at 3, we like to be there early. So, if we get there at 2:30, 2:45, it starts they don't even let you in the theater until after 2:30. Then between 2:30 and 3, they're playing ads, some ads, but they're playing new V, it's a little pre-show thing that they show you. It's got some trivia. It's got some these are movies coming up. These are some things, and they're kind of advertising. Then at 3:00 when the movie's supposed to start, we go into commercials, and we do several minutes of commercials before we do at least 20 minutes of previews. So the movie doesn't actually start till 3:30.
Yeah,
so
it's the same in the UK.
Yeah, and that's not totally new, but you didn't used to actually have commercials when you went to a movie theater. Now, if you'd like to go to the Vista, let me talk about the Vista for a moment. The Vista
Who is owned by?
Owned by Quentin Tarantino. He bought it over COVID. It was the Vista's been an amazing theater forever, but it was purchased by Tarantino during COVID. And so it's really fun because when you go to the Vista, first of all, it's always on film. He does not show digital. So right now we went to see
very Tarantino.
Yeah, and we went to see One Battle After Another. It's only they struck 3 prints, and only 3 prints. One is playing in London, one is playing in New York, and one is playing here at the Vista. And it's a particular thing called VistaVision, which has nothing to do with the Vista Theater, but it happens to be at the Vista Theater. When you go see, and now for One Battle After Another, no previews, and they go straight into the movie, which is unusual at the Vista because what Tarantino loves to do is play an old cartoon. Just like they used to in the theaters. He always plays
the one with the popcorn?
No. I mean like a Warner Brothers short.
Oh, okay.
We went to see something recently. I think we went to see E.T. and it was the Martian. It was Marvin the Martian short. In front of E.T. Yeah. And it's played on film, and so it's all scratchy and grainy and garbagey, which is wonderful. And then yes, he has some little they don't do the let's all go to the lobby anymore, Meg.
Oh.
But he does play some really cool 80s things. Yes, that's the one. Yeah. That's what they used to play at the Vista, which I loved. So in any case, it's really wonderful to go there because it's like an old school.
And it's a beautiful theater.
Movie viewing. And it's a beautiful theater, and there's leg room. You can have your legs stretched out, and people can still walk in front of you to get out of their seats.
Oh my god!
Uh-huh.
I mean, they've changed. We will wrap up soon, by the way, folks. Because Meg has to go. Although I will have a question to leave us with to ponder rather than discuss, which I think is interesting. But yeah, they changed UK theatres a lot. They realised that they should, they were pricing themselves out in terms of what they were offering and what they were charging. And so they went and, a lot of the theatres got changed, and now there's recliner seats, and you got a little table that swings in and stuff like that. Even the basic seats are so much more superior than they used to be. It's insane, the difference. But you can't be fully stretched out with the chair extended and someone walk past you, but it takes very little effort to just pull your legs in a smidge and they can get past. So they did they did do that, which is nice. So I know we have a lot of different feelings on advertising, but I want to leave us with this question. Okay. Advertising on streaming they need to find a way to make money for streamers in order to stay. Otherwise, we're just going to go back to cable network television. Like that's just, we're just going to have to go back to that. The DVR is going to be pointless. Well, it won't be pointless, but if they can't make money, they'll all shut down, or they'll be bought and turned back into what we used to watch. So in a way, I kind of want them to figure out how to do advertising, because I like the concept of streamers. I like, I like video on demand. It's something I appreciate. Like I used to DVR watching live shows so that I could get to the adverts and press fast forward. There was a joy in that. I paid in New Zealand when I lived there to have, the Fancy Sky package, because it was one of the few things tech-wise that wasn't expensive. And so that I could pre-record my Saturday night show, start watching it 45 minutes after it started, so I could skip the adverts and finish it almost at the same time as it was live. And I was just like, my night is sold. This is brilliant.
Yes.
If they fix streaming with advertising, they figure out what they're doing and all that sort of stuff, does this mean we could go back to what I consider one of the golden ages of television, which is stuff like Star Trek, where it runs for 22 episodes in a season and you have your advert break built in, and you still get your 8-episode seasons of whatever, but there becomes a place for your long-running seasons of things.
Let me just weigh in really quick. I know we're going to leave this for thinking.
Okay.
But I do think, so advertising aside, streamers make their money from subscribers. The problem becomes we can't.
There's no growth.
You can't quantify what shows are. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even as they do have algorithms for quantifying eyeballs and like that kind of stuff, but it is really hard to say, like the reason MASH got picked up year after year is that advertisers were paying a lot of money to get into that slot because they knew people were watching it because of Nielsen ratings, et cetera, et cetera. And so like, it is very hard to quantify, this is the show. And so a show like Wheel of Time could have had like, even like if we'd had a few sponsors who were like, we want to sponsor the show, we want to keep the show going, like this is the audience we're looking for, like we're gonna push it forward. But I do think until the greediness of studios who are like, it's expensive to make a show. We have a really demanding audience. Our audiences now are expecting things to look beautiful. That's the thing the streamers are saying right now is let's make it cheap and ugly. And cheap and ugly means we can get more episodes. You can go Simpsons. You can go American. I'm talking animation specifically, but I'm like, with cheap and fast and like South Park. That's they make
terrible
it super cheap and super fast.
Yeah.
It's meant to be, right? It's like they're like, well, we don't want to spend our money in that. We want to spend our money
going
in
back to like
out.
multicam or sitcoms, right?
Yes, and I think multicams are kind of be making a big resurgence in the very near future because they're cheap and easy to make. Because then you have your watchers who are watching premium streaming, and they're expecting it to look really beautiful. So they're like, cool, if you want it to look good, no fucking way we're going to give you 22 episodes. Like you can't find the budget for that. Like there's just almost no way to do it. And so.
And honestly, with a show like Wheel of Time, I feel like I would want more than 8. But 22.
So I wasn't suggesting that Wheel of Time should have gone to 22 episodes.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What I meant
22
was
for it to look bad.
That there is a place for 22 episode seasons for something.
Yeah, if streamers, I don't understand how streamers can't be like, they literally have the account information. We click in, we pick a show. How is it not easy to be like, how many people watched a show? Because this many accounts clicked on it and pressed play and watched this percentage of the show, and rewatched it this many times. Like, how do they not know how many people are watching a show? Like, how can they not track viewership? Because they advertise numbers. So then how can they not say to advertisers, 22 million people watched this in the first season with an average watch time per account of this. Okay, you can get in 2 adverts in that time. All right, so it would be seen by this many eyeballs. Do you want to advertise?
But in part because the ad agencies also haven't figured out that they're like, because you got to remember too, like even as a writer, you get paid twice as much if you're writing prime time versus if you're writing non-prime time, if you're writing a Saturday show or a Sunday show or or a daytime show or whatever, because the advertisers knew families would come home from work and they would sit down and watch their television. And so between 7 and 10 at night is premium ad time. Like if you you know you're going to get eyeballs at that time of night, and you're going to get 4-quadrant eyeballs at that
and you're
time
gonna.
of night.
I was gonna say like large like a wide variety of demographics at that point, right?
Yeah. And so even if a streamer says, okay, we're going to put first of all, they still don't have it figured out to say we're going to run ads for Budweiser during wheel of time.
They're not selling specific ads during specific shows.
They're not. And so if they were to do that,
one of their big downfalls there.
That is a big downfall. That's where you can't make that show able to capitalize on its particular audience, because they aren't doing that. But even if they were doing that, Budweiser is going to say, yeah, but I don't who's going to be watching it? Like, they're going to stream it. It's going to be at 3 a.m. and I'm not getting, I don't know. I think that there's also that fear for advertisers saying, but 7 p.m., 8 p.m. is the prime time for my commercial to run. I want it to run during Monday Night Football.
Advertisers are stuck in the time slot mindset.
A little bit.
And streaming services can't realize, why don't we sell shows for specific sell ads for specific shows?
Yep.
This is
Netflix.
If Netflix doesn't sit down and be like, we're going to sell specific advertising slots for Stranger Things, the final season. Mm-hmm. If they don't do that, that's a proven show on its advertised final season, having 9 hours worth of television, 10 hours worth of television for its final season, whatever. Like, Meg, you sent me the time slots for it. It was like every episode
an hour and a half to 2 hours each episode. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. So it's going to be like getting on towards 20 hours of television for the final season, because it's like 8-9 episodes or something stupid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If Netflix aren't sitting down and saying to, their advertising department, sell slots that will be, shown specifically during Stranger Things, they're stupid. Because that's a proven show in its final season. This is they're doing advertisement on Dorito packets. It's the opportunity is there.
But that's where they're getting the advertising dollars, is by partnering with Doritos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Wednesday did the same thing with Wendy's.
They shot one of the Wendy's commercials at our friend's house.
Oh, really?
In front of our
wow.
Yeah.
So there we go. So advertisers need to get out of the time slot mindset, and streamers need to get out of the selling generic slots. And they should sell. They can sell generic slots, but they should also sell slots for specific shows, which I get for season 1, maybe even season 2 of a show is not going to be an easy sell, But for a show that gets to that stage and has established audiences, you could say, hey, this is the demographic watching this is typically a demographic that buys your product. You should advertise during this show,
And here's an incentive. If you are one of our early adopters of this show, like Wendy's, let's just say Wendy's was like, Wendy's Wednesday, that kind of works. We're going to take a risk. We don't know if the show's going to be any good, but we're going to take a risk. And you've told us what the show's about, so we know we're putting our brand in front of something that we believe in.
Right.
But, if you get why not get an advertiser to be an early adopter? If Wendy's does season 1 of Wednesday, then their rate won't go up for season 2. But if everybody's like, Wednesday's a really good show, I want to get in on that. Like, first of all, McDonald's can't, because Wendy's already has it, so you can't have your competitors. But then you also get anybody who comes in later is now going to be paying a premium price because it's a really good show.
Yeah.
But Wendy's is locked in. They're like, you were an early adopter, you get the early rate. Yeah. And you'll get it forever in perpetuity. Again, Megan and I need to just
fixing everything.
Freewheeling is going to expand into being advertising consultants.
I have a meeting at Netflix tomorrow, so I'll mention that.
Perfect. I'll be absolutely perfect.
I figured that out.
And then try to pitch Wheel of Time while you're at it. Thanks. Sure. Okay, bye.
They're doing, it'll be their next Stranger Things.
That's right.
All right. I
love it.
I just like that. I think that ending could just be a fun, our positive moment, our positivity. Just thinking about that.
I did go to No Kings yesterday, and it was a really good experience.
Yes, awesome.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
I love that. There's obviously not that here, but I would have gone had it been a thing that was happening here, or if I was in America.
Yes.
But I'm glad that was a good experience for you, for the both of you actually.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Hopefully that continues to to achieve good things.
Yes.
So yeah, there's your positivity, folks. I'm the third wheel because I'm not a teacher and never been a teacher. And we learned a lot about Jen today, and we'll find out when the advert comes out, when the episode comes out, whether I kept that in or not. Yeah, Meg, kudos again on winning the cocktail contest and for
Thank you.
Today's cocktail.
I know.
Yeah, what was it called?
Science meets mixology.
The cleansing.
The cleansing, yes.
Because we cleansed the cocktail by clarifying it.
Cleanse
It's
the
brilliant.
cocktail.
You are naive.
Yeah.
I'm giving you that today.
Yeah, please
Thank
tag Yosha and Zoe in that when you post it to be like.
Well, Zoe can't be tagged, but I can do
Zoe's
Yosha.
not.
Yeah, I'll do
You can
Yosha.
tag Yosha. Yosha, the drink version of the scene we wish you'd gotten, or one of the scenes we wish you could have filmed or something.
I'll have to do something in a box next.
Yes. Oh my god. Wow. A box cocktail. A box wine, but it's a cocktail. As if Meg would ever touch box wine. She's way too bougie for that. She's like, Rob, I don't even know where they sell boxed wine, you know? Oh, God. Now I gotta, like, figure out some kind of rand wine-grape connection. Anyway.
Yes.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, folks. Next time, we probably will get back to our character discussion.
I'll go back and re-listen to those 2 episodes, and I'll make notes.
Yeah, we'll figure
I'll
out
look for the notes that I can't find.
We'll
There's
figure out
somewhere.
our file and note situation because we've got a little off track with that, unfortunately.
Yes.
But yeah, please like the video, describe all your favorite things in the comment section. Rate and review us on your podcast app of choice if you're listening to us there. Thank you for those who could hang out with us today. A couple of folks couldn't make it, but it is we don't typically record on a Sunday. It's a Saturday.
Yeah.
I only have 1 more week of soccer, so we could go back to Saturdays after that.
So in 2 weeks' time, we go back to Saturday. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, amazing. So we'll probably be back at Saturday next time we record, folks. If you want to join us, visit patreon.com/MalkieriCon and you can join us there and have a great time hanging out with us as we goof around in front of the microphones. And you can find us on social media on Blue Sky, which is at 3wheeling.malkiertalks.com, or on Instagram, which is 3.wheeling, which is where you will find the cocktail reels.
It's going to be rough to keep this one down to under a minute. So,
are they still limited to a minute on Instagram?
In Instagram, no, but Blue Sky it was, but I haven't checked in a while, so maybe I'll try to upload something longer.
I mean,
on
you
Blue
could just
Sky
put the
to see.
Instagram link on Blue Sky if needed.
Eh.
It makes like no. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much, folks, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Once again, we've proven that even when you're the third wheel,
You can always find a place to fit in.
Join us next time
On 3 Wheeling.
on 3 wheeling.
on Free Wheeling.